What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burrow77 here with my main man Brad Thomas. And I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't know what the fuck to do in this game. I have no. I'm on the wrong side of Dortmund every goddamn time. I can't figure them out in Bundesliga. They look like trash in Bundesliga, and then they somehow come out here, hang 3 on Sporting in Sporting's building, which is extremely tough to do. And they look like world beaters in Champions League. They made it to the Champions League final. They barely finished in the top 4 in Bundesliga. Out right now, they're on the outside looking in Bundesliga, I believe, for top 4. It's just I can't figure this team out. They're at home. They're in front of the yellow wall. I want to say that taking them minus 105 is a layup. We saw a ton of money come in on Dortmund. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with Sporting either. I know there's friction there between Victor and the new manager / the ownership group when he was kind of critical of them. I don't know how you're not playing one of Europe's breakout goal scorers, one of Europe's breakout studs, the guy that, you know, your manager left to go to Man U, who wasn't going to spend money this transfer window. He didn't even really want the fucking job until the summer when they were going to rebuild the roster. They said, no, you're coming now or you're not getting the job. Now he kind of looks like ass, man. You looks like ass. Sporting's just kind of in shambles here for me, and they got 3 hung on them at home by a subpar Dortmund squad. I don't think they're going to be able – their back's against the wall. They have to get up here. I don't see him scoring like 4 goals to overtake Dortmund at home in front of the yellow wall, but like I'm not prepared to ride with Dortmund. I don't know. I'm probably just going to end up playing the over 2.5 here. It's mad juice, but like I did with Nick the other week, I'm going to put it in a parlay. Like I'm going to have to take over 2.5 as a leg at minus 145 in a parlay. And if for some reason we see Victor, my tune might change. We'll see money come in on Sporting for sure if we see Victor, just so we're clear on that. But yeah, I don't know. I like the over 2.5 here, minus 145. It's juiced, but I can't find a way to get involved in a side here.
When it comes to Champions League, Dortmund are an entirely different team. Mind you, this is a team that just lost to Bochum, was it, right?
Yeah.
Just lost to Bochum. Freaking Bochum, right?
Relegation.
Dortmund can go out there. I want to, it was Bochum, 2-0. Dortmund can go out there and bless any team in Champions League. Then they play a Bochum. They play a Heidenheim. They play a Werder Bremen. They lose. And it is wild. So I stayed away from this match. I want to touch on what you said. Gyökeres is not playing. Not starting for this team is insane. And I could understand if like Harder was playing well. Yeah, I can understand if Harder was playing well in his stead, or if Pote wasn't hurt, but Pote's hurt and is not coming back for any time soon. But man, the yellow wall in Champions League, I like the over. I stayed away. Like even like situationals, I'm a big situational bettor when it comes to live betting. Even the situation betting for Sporting against Dortmund in leg 1. And none of the situational bets were good. I think the only one that hit was Sporting corners. Gyökeres didn't score. Sporting didn't get back. I think it was like they didn't get back the plus 1.5. Like their corner spread didn't hit. There was nothing worth it. And you know, I like to monitor that kind of stuff for the next time, but it's all good.
Yeah, and this Dortmund team, they can play piss poor and still get results. Like, don't get me wrong. It was nice. It was a nicely done win by Dortmund when they beat Bruges 3-0 in the opening game of Champions League. Bruges should have scored 4. They just had some really bad ball luck, and Dortmund didn't look like world beaters that game. All their stuff came off the counter and on single chance like goals that they slotted home, and Bruges just wasn't getting the ball luck that day. Bruges dominated possession. They lived in their final third, and they've had way more shots on target. They had like 3 or 4 hit the woodwork.
Yeah.
It was just bad ball luck for Bruges that day, and all the ball luck was with Dortmund, where they slotted pretty much every quality shot that they put on target got slotted home. And it's going to be just so tough for me to find value here because we're not going to get anywhere near the same value on Dortmund at home that we got in the away leg. So let me pull up the predicted 11s here. Again, this is 2 days in advance. I don't get fought mobs. So to just make a visual for you guys, I used the last starting 11s, which you got to kind of assume they're kind of going to run them back and be the same. I rate Adeyemi super high. I've rated Adeyemi super high since he came off of RB Salzburg. I honestly don't know why Napoli didn't go out and buy him. Dortmund's not usually the club I think is like playing hardball. They have so many. They're so good at developing offensive talent and flipping them for a profit. So when I was talking to Nick, he said it sounded like Dortmund was trying to play hardball with Napoli on the salary. I'm not sure if that's true or the transfer fee, but like Adeyemi, they denied him the move to Napoli and they didn't sell him, and then they didn't start him the following match. Then they fired their manager. They got a new manager. He has been starting, but he hasn't been playing the full 90 because they do have a lot of offensive depth here. But I love Adeyemi to score assist at a plus number. And the other thing I mentioned last week is Julian Brandt takes every corner for this team. And Dortmund's pretty good at scoring off of corners. I have these graphics flip-flopped. I apologize. That's on me. But if you look over here, Brandt got 2 assists last game. I'm going to take Brandt for an assist again. It's over plus 200. That's kind of a must play for me on a guy who takes the set pieces. Schlotterbeck's worth a look for a shot. He will pull up from outside the box. He is a big target on set pieces. If Emre Can's playing center back again, I know he didn't pick one up the game before, but Emre Can is just, he's not super coordinated, guys. Like, he's an okay midfielder, but he's an absolute card liability. You're giving me Emre Can to pick up a card at above plus 200 again. I'm going to take it. Ryerson's also a little bit of a hack. Sabitzer and Gross are both shooters from the midfield here. Bino Gittins is a guy I rate a lot. Gerassi, I need to double check whether or not he is going to be suspended on yellows, but he's the guy I like, who's going to be like a true 9. He's in. He's in. Okay, perfect. He's a true 9, so he's going to be like I know he got an assist, but like I'm not going to play his assist, and I'm not interested in playing his to score assist at a minus number. I'll play the wings to score assist at a plus number. Gerassi, I'm just going to take straight up for a goal if I get involved in this. And look, it's just really hard for me to get involved in sporting props, especially without Victor in there. Hater's not playing super well. Every time I bet Trincao, I'm on the wrong end of it. So I'm going to let somebody else bet Trincao, and I'm going to try not to be the mush.
Every time I bet Trincao, and I think the reason my problem with Trincao is every time it's a good Trincao. I mean, every time that it's a good Pote spot, I have to play Trincao instead because Pote's hurt. And so then I'm just like, well, this sucks. I've just wasted money on him. Player props. The only thing, if Gyökeres starts, that's the only thing I like. Take his goal. I take him 2+ shots on target. I am gonna take Sporting over 4.5 corners. Mind you, I think they only had 1 corner in the first half against Dortmund, and then the second half they had 3 to get 4. But now they're starting at a 3-goal deficit. They're gonna come out in fire. Like, unless they get down 2 goals early and they're in a 5-goal deficit, I don't see a world where Sporting doesn't come out and try to play this game aggressively. And Dortmund sits kind of chilling. It's even money for them to get 5 corners, right? Like, I mean, you live or die with that, right? Like, you'll be okay with if that dies on you.
Yeah. And Sporting absolutely have to come out on the front foot here. One thing I will say is, if you guys like the over, if you like the both teams to score in the over, if you're going to use the over in a parlay, play it now, play it early, because if Victor's in this lineup, that number is going to nuke. It's going to become over under 3 with the push really, really quick if Victor's in this lineup, especially at Dortmund. And you'll see money come in and shift towards Sporting. And I don't think that's necessarily a reflection of that Sporting's going to 100% win the game. but Victor gives them such a better chance at winning the game. And Dortmund has the goals to play with where they're not going to panic and they're not going to change how they play. They're not going to fall into a defensive shell. They're not going to play a low block because that's not who they are. If they give up a goal or even two, they're going to stay on the front foot and they're going to stay attacking because Dortmund, they're just not built to play in a low block, especially not with freaking Emery Chan, a midfielder who's a makeshift center back. Like, that's the other thing we don't necessarily talk about enough, I guess, for Dortmund is like everything about this lineup all season has been piecemeal. They've fired managers. Like, Dortmund's really kind of struggling after going far in Champions League and losing to Madrid last year. And they're just, they're I don't want to say long in the tooth because they do have a lot of young talent, but all their young talent is forward and focused offensively. They haven't super taken care of the back end. You went out and got Pascal Gross, who's a nice player, but like you played him at right back a bunch this year, and that's not where you want Gross playing. Like if he's playing as a right back, he's a right wing back who needs the permission to go and get forward and get involved in the offense. You can't expect him to play high level defense. He's giving you Lucas Vasquez bullshit out there.
Yeah, man. Okay, so like the bad back line for Dortmund, like that just makes me feel like you have to see goals in this game. Sporting aren't just going to sit there and just be like, oh, we're screwed. We're down 3-0. Like all of these teams in Portugal, especially the top Portuguese teams, are super prideful, dude. Like they're going to freaking try so hard. Even at like, I don't know. Maybe
they want those auto qualifier spots for UCL next year. These guys don't want to play in the knockout rounds to qualify for UCL. Portugal is arguably, if they're arguably the fourth or fifth best league in Europe. They're right there neck and neck with France. You got Porto sucks this year too, by the way.
Dude,
I want to like Porto. I like Ganello. There's some guys over there on Porto I want to like. They can't find the back of the net for shit. Taremi leaving that team kind of unwound them. I don't expect the Portuguese teams in Sporting to lay over and die, but if you're not starting Victor, like, what are you doing? You're kind of rolling over and dying. So
what I don't get is like we haven't heard nothing about an injury,
right?
Like, what are we supposed to like? What you can't. It's going to be the weirdest. It's going to come out. The truth is going to come out. So we'll see.
This is the biggest. There's not a player bigger than the club statement I've ever seen from a team. Like, the only thing I could think that would be like a bigger statement than that is if like Pep is benching Haaland or Ancelotti's benching Mbappe. Like that's the level of goal scoring this dude's on. He did it in Euros. He did it internationally. He's done it for Sporting. There's obviously friction here with the manager change and with ownership group. Whether or not he wants to move, I'm not that deep into Portuguese Twitter where I have those answers for you, but there's clearly something going on here. And it's not that he's injured because he's coming on as a sub and scoring goals. And they reluctantly put him on in the league when they need one. So we'll see. Back against the wall here, you kind of got to start Victor, but I don't know. It's just a wild situation. Wild.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. We will be back to talk PSG versus Brest here shortly. Until then, look forward to seeing you at the window. We outside!